Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. What I'm about to share should not be misconstrued as a pro-Ukraine, anti-Russia word. It's a pro-kingdom word, as the Lord's cause is what we, his children, should be focused on. And it is his banner alone that should be found flying over our lives. During the discourse in the recent Tucker Carlson interview with President Putin of Russia, Putin mentioned Crimea. As he briefly spoke about its present state of affairs, the Lord reminded me of something he had said to me about that region back in March of 2022. The Lord then highlighted that as a believer, I need to take a step back from the news of the day and stay focused on what he's doing in the earth. As you remember, in 2022, the war between Russia and Ukraine was underway. But something more important was happening in the church, as the Lord was declaring through many prophetic voices his intentions to bring worldwide revival. He actually spoke to me several times about different nations and the work he was planning to do through believers who live there. This word about Crimea is one of those prophetic declarations, which was posted only on my blog. However, upon receiving this word back in 2022, I felt impressed to find some way of sharing it directly with believers in Crimea. So in my search for a way to do just that, I found an article that spoke about the persecution of evangelicals in Crimea. In the article, the Lord highlighted the name of a pastor to whom I would share this word. The pastor's reply, after reading the word I sent him, confirmed that some of the things the Lord referenced in the word were already happening. The content spoke encouragement to the believers in Crimea, as the government had been leveling financial persecution on anyone they caught holding unsanctioned services or doing any form of public evangelism, and promised retribution against the one who authorized the penalties. He highlighted these verses from Matthew 24. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. These things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Then they will deliver you over to be persecuted and killed, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. At that time, many will fall away and betray and hate one another, and many false prophets will arise and mislead many. Because of the multiplication of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who perseveres to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. The Lord asked me to share this word as a reminder to the body of Christ that we are not to engage on this physical front by choosing sides in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. There are things going on in that war which we aren't privy to, especially as it relates to God's plan to advance his kingdom throughout that region. But one thing we can be certain of is that God is on the move and that he will bring about his promised good through all the adversity currently happening on the earth. This is the word I heard the Lord speak back in 2022. O Crimea, Crimea, do not weep, for the one who controls the tides of the seas has not forgotten thee. Though this snarling bear appears to have sharp teeth, he is no match for me. For what man alive, even ruler or king, has the authority to challenge my sovereignty? Then just as Beelzebub himself fell from grace, and shall never reclaim his royal position, so too shall this tyrant know the due punishment for his act of rebellion, as this is the penalty for all who step outside of my will and join forces with darkness. Though he has tried to stifle your voices, you who have resisted shall see the enlargement of your tents. For upon this ground my goodness shall abound. Know that the seeds already planted did not land on fallow ground, but were waiting for the rains of heavier adversity to blow in and break open the soil so that new life would have the chance to spring forth. I then saw a contingency of warrior angels descending from the heavens towards Crimea. And then the Lord continued, "See, then I have released a battalion of my battle guard into this region to support the ground troops already actively engaged in this spiritual combat. For I have not let your cries for my intervention go unheeded. O Crimea, Crimea, do not weep, for I have created thee to fill the gap, to be the bridge of connection between the borderlands and Russia, so that the highway of the Lord may freely flow unobstructed, creating the avenue by which many more from amongst this people are added to the church. And lift the banner of praise over your region. Let the colors of my kingdom fly high for all to see. For it is you, Crimea, that I have chosen to shine like a beacon of hope, beckoning to those dwelling in desolation. And so many vessels shall be drawn to your ports, searching for a safe harbor, and there shall find the salvation they seek. For among those faithful brethren who inhabit this region, are there those that refuse to be coerced into silence. Then suddenly a fire shall ignite that will burn throughout this peninsula, spreading across the land and the sea, so that the flames of revival touch even the most hardened hearts, those who have been locked in spiritual bondage and bound with the heavy chains of communistic rule. O Crimea, Crimea, rejoice! For very soon you shall see a great wave of deliverance wash over your people." Thanks again for joining me today.